so the first one I'm gonna go over, and I'm not gonna go over every single zones because I'm not sure there's layout tricks in every single one of them, and it's not really that important. I'll just go through like the most useful one in my opinion. This one is the coast. Right after you get out of Line Eyes Watch, you need to head to the mud flats, which we're gonna be talking about next. And basically, you need to follow the water. Simple, but not really. I mean, it is, but I'm gonna be killing. Usually, I don't kill anything in the coast because the XP you get in mud flats is good enough to. Basically, I would be losing time. But you see that you try to follow the water and you can't. But just keep that in mind. Let's say let's say you're Jesus and you can walk on water. If you head in a straight line, this is where the waypoint is. You just need to go around. That's what we're gonna do. Again, I'm never killing shit. You can if you want, as long as you're having fun. And that's things that most experienced PoE players know about, but I'm aiming this video more towards like newer people. For example, people coming from PoE 2 and who wants to try PoE 1 for the first time. And once I reach the water again, I'm gonna pause, I'm gonna kill shit. Like, as you can see, let's kill these things. I'm basically just on the other side. And that's what you need to do. You don't need to go there, obviously, but you just go around. And the waypoint is there. Always. Sometimes you can have to go around this way. Like I said, you just follow the water and you follow the wall, you go around and you're good. And that's basically the coast for you. Alright, so the ledge. I just returned, so the map is not revealed, but when you get to the waypoint, these little rocks are pointing towards the direction where you need to go to finish the zone. This is useful if, for example, you get to the ledge and you take the waypoint back to go somewhere else, for example, submerged, and in the time it takes you to do that, you come back and the zone reset. That's a good way to know how. Other than that, it's just a straight line. It's not something you absolutely need to know, but it's still useful. The crossroads is always the same. Basically, it's a crossroad, says in the name. Once you're at the waypoint, the path up north, if you will, this way, is going to the Chamber of Sins. This one is going to the next zone here, which is the Broken Bridge, and this one down there is going to the Crypt, which you need to do for a skill point and a Trial of Ascendance. Right, the Chamber of Sins, this one is true for both Act 2 and Act, is it 7? Yeah, Act 7. It's true for both. Basically, when you enter, you never can go straight. You always have to go around one way or the other. I always take left. Sometimes it's longer. It's always longer from one side rather than the other. But eventually you're gonna come across this thing in the middle with the waypoint. And as you can see, if I move there, this path is blocked. That's why you can't go straight. And it's a big circle, and the way forward is always through the door closest to the waypoint. For example, it's here, you see on the mini-map this door, so you know you just go in a straight line, the exit's there. If the waypoint was over here, it would be this way. It's always the same. Alright, so for the Western Forest in Act 2, which is right there where you find Alira, the trick for the layout is pretty well known and as follows. Alira is always on the same side of the waypoint when you look at the road. Like if you look at the map overlay here, Alira's there, and the Weaver's Nest is gonna be on the other side of the road always. And sometimes Alira is right there, it can be lower, it can be like, it depends, because the waypoint is never at the same place. But there's a trick. If you really want to find her instantly, follow the road, and once you come up to this thing on the map, it's a road made out of rocks. You just follow it. Like, it's not on the map anymore, but it's here. You just follow the road. And it's gonna bring you right to Alira. So that's trick number 1 for this zone. As you can see. Still in the Western Forest. I moved forward a little bit, but you basically just follow the road. Once you kill Alira, what I like doing is starting with Alira. You go back to the road, you go all the way down. And here you're gonna find a unique enemy, you kill him. He's gonna drop a quest item that you shove in there. Alright, it's done. Now, before going back to town, I like to just do the Weaver's Nest, so the Western Forest is done all in one go. What I usually do, since I know it's gonna be on this side of the road, like opposite the waypoint, I just hug the wall, because sometimes it's close here, sometimes, like in this case, it's all the way up there. It changes, it could be here. So I just hug the wall and I find the Weaver's Den. Pretty easy, but it's quite useful because it's a big zone. So the Riverways is the exact same principle as the Western Forest. You go through this zone first. Normally what I do is I just come through the encampment and I follow the road until I go to the Western Forest. I do the Western Forest and then I come back to the waypoint, because from there you need to go to the Wetlands. So it makes more sense to do it this way in my opinion. But when you go back to the waypoint, most likely your zone will be reset. So it's the same thing as the Western Forest for Alira. You see that thing on the map where I'm standing? You just follow the rocks. Like that. You see there's a kind of a path. Here you kind of lose it, but there's an encampment and you see that it goes right next to it. And if you follow that, you get into the wetlands. Easy. Okay, so the Vaal Ruins is... I mean, the Vaal layouts are more convoluted, but it's not... This one's not too bad. It's basically an S shape. As you can see, I started there. And, like, I went straight, it wasn't there. Okay, because it could be any of these 3 ways. So I've went this way, and when you see you start making progress, at some point it's gonna kind of stop or force you to turn. You turn. In this case I turned this way, which would be right for the character coming this way. You will have to go left or right again, basically as if you were turning around, because you're doing an S shape, see? And eventually you're gonna have to go left, as if you just went straight from the entrance, and then you're gonna turn again. So just an S shape. And here is like an altar of corruption. You're gonna see an icon on the map. Let me just get close. Like when you see this thing, that means you're heading in the right way. You're not too far from the exit. And see, even this far I saw the exclamation mark telling me that yes, this is indeed where I need to go. And one of the layouts that's the hardest when you start playing the game. But once you know this trick, it's really not that bad. So Ruin Square is always the same layout. So the waypoint is here. You're probably gonna already find that coming from below, but basically it's this waypoint. Ossuary is always next to it. If you want to go to the Chamber of Innocence, it's basically an S shape. You go here, and you always go down on the first one. Keep going this way, and then you go up. As you can see on the map. And when you get out of the Torch Courts, at some point in Act 5, it's the same thing. You go straight. You follow a road, then you turn right as soon as you can. And then you go left. And that brings you back to the waypoint. As for the rest of the zone, if we just speed through, as soon as you cross the bridge, it's basically a square. What I like doing is always going this way. And when you start seeing like the road on the map here that goes straight, this is to go kill Utula. Don't really have to kill it, but if you want to, it's there. And if you keep going down, You're going to the reliquary, which you want to do because there's a skill point quest there. And I'm not going to cover it later, but in Act 10, if you keep going down here, there's going to be the entrance to the control blocks somewhere around here. Probably there. Which you will want to do in Act 10. Right now it's just burning, so you can't. This is where you come from when you get in the zone the first time. So basically you're going up until you cross a bridge. You go to the waypoint up there. Next, Chamber of Innocence. Chamber of Innocence, basically, I believe you want to go like right here on the minimap. But you can't go straight, you need to go all the way around. There's always good packs here for XP, by the way. Can you go this way? See again, every time you go upstairs there's packs of enemies. You go this way. You keep following basically the outskirts of the map. I always like going up when I can. Kill the packs. You keep going. There's a crafting recipe somewhere there. Usually you find it along the way. But basically this is what you do. Kill the packs. Of course I'm high level. And you go down there. It's not gonna be that fast when you're in the campaign, but it's giving you an idea. And you know you've arrived when there's just a bunch of magic enemies like that. And this is where you fight a boss. So basically, like I said... Okay, no, I said here, but you see? It's basically kind of a question mark shape, if it's like laying on its side, if you will. That's always the same pattern, always the same layout. So I'm not going over the zones I've already covered, because in part 1 you go through the acts, and in part 2 you revisit the same zones. Some are new, some are different, but the layout things I said always apply. And this was made by Karv, which is really helpful. The Vaal City is one that's pretty annoying to learn, and instead of running through the zone, I just found that and I said it's 100 times better than anything I can do, because there's 4 layouts, as you can see. And yes, I'm gonna move out of the way when it's time. So basically, once you get in, if you go in a straight line and there's a short wall like this, you just hug this wall and go right and left to the waypoint. If there's instantly a short wall, it's basically a straight line this way. And you go around to the waypoint. If there's a large, wide wall as soon as you get out, like it's not as small as this one, you go left, you go straight, and eventually you just go right. And lastly, the one that I believe is the most well-known is, as soon as you go out, if there's just a big cliff, like a gaping hole in front of you, you go left and you hug the wall, but you don't hug all the way there, you just keep going straight until you get the other wall, and you keep going straight. And then right, left. It's basically right in a straight line, but you have to do a little shape like this. So that's the Vaal City in Act 7. And knowing this will help you a lot. I said I would move out of the way. And I will. As you can see, this is the layout. I'm going to try to, because I downloaded the picture, I'm going to try to find it. And I'm going to link it down below for people who want to get it. One that's not really difficult, but I find useful, because it's a huge zone. Okay, let me make a new zone. Is the Foothills. Basically, you just hug the right wall all the way through. Then you get to the waypoint, which is your way to the Boiling Lake, and then just go left until you notice some tracks for carts like this, that means you're in the tunnel. Easy.